Hey Internet, how's it going? I'm Chase Jarvis. Welcome to another episode of the Daily Creative. This here show is where I sit down and answer your questions about becoming an aspiring or maybe even a professional creator where you're making a living and a life doing what you love. If you have questions, you got to call me. I have been fielding your calls all week, many of them. We got a bunch of fresh ones, and Finn is going to drop not one but two. We're going to do two this show. Finn, take it away with question one for today's show.
What's up, Chase? What's up, team? My name's Tommy Sullivan. I'm a photographer in the Bay Area.
Tom.
You can find me on Instagram at Tommy Sullivan.
Sullivan.
Okay, so this last year, it's been the best year yet as far as my photo business goes.
Okay.
Over the years, I've done the assisting thing, I've done the checking thing, and now I finally have a few shooting clients, and they are actually paying the bills. It's awesome.
Nice. Congratulations.
Are still life and product photography clients, which is awesome, but on the side, I've been doing what you prescribed, which is creating work that I really love to do, which is on figure, apparel, lifestyle, advertising. My question is, how do I now get new quality clients that want to pay me to do the work that I really love to do? Thanks so much. You guys are awesome.
Tommy Sullivan, thank you for thanking us. Thank you for being awesome yourself. I'm going to ask a simple question. How did you get the clients that are paying you right now to do the work that you are doing today? That just didn't happen. It was accidental. No, it was important. You focused, you decided who you wanted to go after, you went after them, and you got them. And now they're paying you to do this kind of work, this still life work. Deconstruct what you did to be successful there. It's very simple. This is a getting clients or sales or none of this happens. None of this happens. No career is made. No one just beats your door down. I don't care who you think made it just out of the blue. None of it happens. No sustained success happens by accident. So you already have customers. You already have clients that are paying you. What did you do the first time around to get those? Deconstruct it. I bet it went something like this. I know someone, I tracked them down, I figured there's these blogs that I like, there's these magazines, these food magazines, I don't know if you're a food shooter, I know Still Life. You found out who was paying other people to take pictures of the kind of stuff that you wanted to take pictures of back then. You put yourself in a position to win near those people. You made sure they were familiar with your work. You got a meeting with them. You pitched your work in a very convincing way. You got in front of them and they hired you once. And then once you got hired once, you leveraged that into getting hired twice and three times. You made them a regular client. Then there was a word of mouth that they passed you on to this other friend of theirs who's an editor at something else, and then you got your first commercial job because of one of the editors moved and got a gig as a photo editor at a thing you see how it happens. It's like a Rolling Moss, what is it? Rolling Stone?
Rolling Stone gathers no moss.
Yes. I don't know what I meant by that. We're just gonna go away from that. A snowball, there you go, snowball. It's snowballed. And the same thing is true here. It's like, and it's a fair question, absolutely. But I think what boggles my mind is people think that there's some other new way of getting clients. Sure, there are other ways to market your business, but ultimately what you're doing is you're finding out where people are writing checks for the kind of work that you want to do. You're putting yourself in that world over and over and over. Also, I have a question. Like, you went away? I'm going to reframe what you just told me for anyone who's lost track, because I have a little bit, but. You have a job, you were doing that work, you were listening to what I prescribed, and you said, okay, I'm getting sort of bored with this work, I really want to be doing, also with the camera, but I want to be doing over here, I'm doing still lives, I want to be doing lifestyle. So what you did is you kept paying the bills here, you marketed yourself as this, and your spare time, you used your time and money and resources and friends and everything you can to build a badass portfolio over here. And what you're saying is like, how do I now start getting hired to do this? I'm saying, you had a mechanism for getting hired here, apply the same mechanism here. You need to represent that this is the kind of work that you're now doing. The phone will still ring here. If you've done a good job of building a client base, I would probably stop marketing to those people. Hopefully the inbound is enough to sustain as you're moving into this world. New site, fresh images, new direction. I'm passionate about this. Now you're going and marketing yourself in this world to the people who write checks here. You need to be very distinct about this shift You don't call those people up who are paying for you right now in the still life world and say, hey, yo, I'm out, you're done, no more worky. Because what you want is you still want that money, but they're not even going to your site anymore. They know you, they know that you're focused and you're great at this, so they're gonna keep paying you. You need to, but to new clients, put this new foot forward. You're not talking about all the other shit that you used to do, you're talking about the new stuff that you did. Okay? It is nice to have some tear sheets on your site to show that you've been hired and paid before. But what are you doing now? This is the other 50%. So I need to write this. This is like I write this video on the, I'm going to write it again. I'm going to write this video title on the board again. It seems like every third show I write the other 50%.
Right on your forehead.
Maybe, good idea. I'm going to get a tattoo. Finn, I like where you're going with that. The other 50%. This is a video that I made that I don't think enough people watched it. I'd like you to go watch it right now. If you haven't, you're missing out. That other 50% is: are you putting yourself in a position to win? Are you actively marketing? I'm guessing this is what was his name again? Tommy Sullivan. So Tommy, I'm guessing that you did all that work the first time around. You started getting hired. You got clients that are paying your bills, as you said, and then you just put out a new body of work, but you didn't do the other 50% of the work around that new body of work. I bet all the money in my wallet right now, which is, it's enough to be material, but it's not going to change anybody's lives. I'll just tell you that. But I bet that that's what happened, okay, or that's what's happening, and you're not getting as much traction in that as you want. That's why. Take that advice and run with it. Tommy Sullivan, thank you very much for calling in, bud. Appreciate it. And why don't you call back and let me know how that worked out for you? Because I think I figured it out for you. All right. Next question, Finn. Thank you very much.
Hey, Chase, Jarvis and company. Thank you so much for this great work that you're doing. I so love it. This is Melissa Balmer of pedallove.org. And this is a culture shift question.
Ooh.
May is National Bike Month, and I see in videos, Chase, that you ride a bike.
I do.
Thank you. So what advice would you give to us who are working on the national bike advocacy level and bike shops about creating a real culture shift to make the U.S. much, much more bike-friendly?
Cool.
Thank you so much. Have a great month. We'll look forward to watching more of your videos.
So pedallove.org, is that what it is? Pedal Love. I just love the variety of people who called in who are creating cool things around the world. I'll never get tired of it. Thank you. If you think your business is different than the things that we talk about here, they're not. There's so much that we can all learn from one another, so I appreciate the question. I'm wondering if, so you framed it as a culture shift question. Culture shift. So, and yet you're talking from pedallove.org. So I'm wondering if your question is really, it's sort of cloaked in like, how do I grow my nonprofit? I'm not going to approach it from that. You're going to have to deconstruct my answer and see if there are things that you want to plug directly into pedallove.org. My answer for so many people who've written in, called in, texted, carrier pigeon me questions about starting nonprofits, I ask you this question. Does the world need another nonprofit in the area that you're focusing? Or are you better off joining forces with someone who's already established and pushing your agenda from inside an established org? I don't know the answer to that question. I just want you to ask the question of yourself, because most people that I know who start a nonprofit figure out about 6 months in that, holy shit, this is every bit as hard, if not harder, than starting a regular business. So it sounds, I don't know, I'm not going to judge whether you have or haven't, but ask yourself that question. Now, let's go back to the culture shift part of your question, which is, how do you shift culture? I believe that if you are sitting back thinking about all of the things that you could be doing, that you're approaching it wrong. It's sort of like thinking about all of the ways that you could grow any business. You could be doing a little bit of Facebook paid, you could be doing a little bit of online marketing, you could be, working with influencers on social, you could be creating content, putting it out there, telling your story. And the reality is, if you do all of those things and you do it all to 10%, then you're not going to get any traction. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't have your fingers in a lot of pies, but I want to know have you thought critically about the things that you can do to move the needle? What are your goals? What are you measuring success by? Is it the number of bikes on the road? Is it the number of laws that you get enacted that are in favor of bikes over cars or pedestrians? I don't know how you're measuring your business, but I'm guessing just based on the nature of your sort of like very global question that maybe you might want to focus a little bit more. What KPIs, what numbers are you trying to grow that measure the success or the efficacy of what you're doing? So some ideation around there is, are you working with influencers like myself who bike to work? I ride a beach cruiser in San Francisco from my place to CreativeLive. It's 1.5 miles. It's short. I look at it, it's just a beautiful little headspace clearing. Are you reaching out to me, asking me to be a part of something you're doing? Are you pointing to other influencers socially who are doing this already? Are you working with anybody? I don't know. That's one tactic. Another one is the legal side. Do you have relationships with local governments that are driving massive change? I'm in Seattle today, and at the CreativeLive here, and Seattle is very progressive with respect to bikes. Portland, very progressive with respect to bikes. So, are you deconstructing? This is a very popular theme on the show. It's very popular with my friend Tim Ferriss, Tools for Titans, all of his books. Are you looking at particular markets that have been wildly successful getting bikes into the mainstream culture? Are you looking at examples of this working really well, deconstructing what they've done? Is it with the local government? Is it culturally? Is it incentives? Is it with influencers? What is it? What worked in Portland, Oregon? What worked in Seattle such that you could export that to Oklahoma City or Toronto or Tibet? I don't know how, I don't know. I think bikes are pretty big in Tibet, actually. That is the answer to your question. Deconstruct things that are working. There's a handful of things that I think you should be doing, specifically with government influencers and telling stories about why bikes are good for the world. But is there a chance you can call me back? Because I want to know a little bit more about the success that you're having. I'm making a handful of assumptions because your question was pretty tight. It was short but broad. So I think that I think I'm on track, but let me know. And if you want your questions answered on this show, please give me a call. It's very simple. I used to pick up the phone device, this guy here, dial 802-962-4357. Go like this, put the phone to your face, and then leave your question on the answer machine right there. I listen to them, we pick them for the show, and we deploy them. Hopefully, you're getting a ton of value. If you're calling in from somewhere other than the United States, just put a +1. So you go +1 802-962-4357, and then I answer your question wherever you're from on the planet. It's that easy. Thank you so much for tuning in. Leave comments, likes, thumbs up. I really appreciate the engagement. You guys are awesome. And remember, even if you're not asking the question, there is value in every damn answer for what you're building. That's my favorite thing about this, is it's very easy to leverage all of this knowledge. It's gonna be a great body of knowledge for you. Thanks a lot for being a part of it. Bye. Have a good one. That's kind of like Kermit the Frog. Sounded kind of weird, right?
Hi-ho, Kermit the Frog here.